And speaking about more trailers, unless of course this got cut up in a different way, in which case you probably saw the other trailer much
Ooh.
earlier than this clip. But
Mm.
who
I hope this
cares?
one comes first.
Yeah, this one will not come first.
Damn.
Although, actually, wait, no, time travel, so it might come first. But then again, Doctor Who
Wibbly
is also
wobbly.
time travel. Yeah, I don't know which one's gonna come first. They're both time travel. Uh,
Anyway, Alonzi.
Alonzi, Captain Marvel's trailer recently came out, and it wasn't what I expected. But then again, I don't know what I expected. I gotta be real, because I knew it was gonna be set in the 90s, but I knew nothing else other
She
than
falls right
90s.
into a blockbuster.
That was fucking beautiful. Conan O'Brien made a joke about that.
Yeah.
They had the opening where she falls into a blockbuster, and then they actually had her picking up old VHS tapes and looking at the movies. Like, they just had a hand picking up old movies like Batman, Ghost Dad, a bunch of other movies from like the 80s, 90s. But here's where it gets really funny. It cut into like a dramatic done, and then it had on the screen like, it's 2 hours of Captain Marvel picking out movies. And then but it does more duns where it's like, and you might be thinking, why would I watch this? But we're Marvel. You'll watch what we fucking tell you to watch.
I mean, her outfit looks badass, and if that's not the only reason
Yes.
I'm watching it, it's also because she punched an old lady.
So here's the interesting thing. I think that putting that in there is a spoiler in a weird way, because you know about the Skrulls, right?
I know nothing about Captain Marvel.
Okay, so this isn't technically a Captain Marvel thing necessarily. It's just a general like Marvel thing because they've done different events with Skrulls.
Okay.
Skrulls are shape-shifting aliens that go to planets to invade, but stealthily. So in other words, I can be a Skrull. You could be a Skrull. We'd never know because we take over the lives of the people that we imitate, and sometimes we're so undercover we don't even know that we're Skrulls.
Oh shit, man! I identify as a Skrull.
Yeah, right. You have died of Skrull. So but like that's what Skrulls are. And in the comics, if I remember correctly, in the comics, Elektra died, like many heroes
Everyone
do.
dies. Like,
Yeah. So she died, as many heroes do, and I think it was Tony Stark calling. This was pre-Civil War, if I remember correctly. So Tony Stark called Captain America because they were on speaking terms, and Cap was like, "Oh my God, how did she die? What did they do to her?" And it was like, "No, she died from a stab wound. I don't know why she looks like this." And then it cuts to this green-looking alien with like pointy ears, looking like a goblin, in Elektra's outfit.
oh,
On an operating table, essentially dead, on as a slab. So it's kind of like, wait, what the fuck's happening here? And then we learned that Skrulls exist in the Marvel universe, and they just come down to Earth. They invade when Earth is most vulnerable, and in the case of these movies, potentially the Earth would be most vulnerable after a Thanos attack. Not that they'd be in part 2, but that could be the setup for the next event, introducing Captain Marvel. And having her punch an old lady, there's a good chance that this smiling old lady, is a Skrull. Because why the fuck would you punch an old lady?
that lady's the coolest grandma ever.
Yes.
Like, she goes home and she like sits down with her kids. She's like,
Yeah.
her grandkids. She's like, I know Captain Marvel personally.
Grandma, why are you bleeding? And so I do think that that's actually a spoiler for anyone that was thinking, are we going to get Skrulls? I'm thinking we're going to get Skrulls, especially if we get Captain Marvel. And then she punches an old lady, and I'm like, you're either a Skrull or an android. Like, you're not an old lady.
Actually, I
don't know
hope she is an old lady and it's a mistake.
That would be fucking hilarious. Like, she's just like, are you going to Comic-Con, dearie? And like, Con is like,
some dinner at my house.
and Con is the word for war on Captain Marvel's planet, so she just punches her the fuck out. So I knew that it was going to take place in the 90s. Therefore, the blockbuster thing is the funniest way to be like, hey, by the way, guys, this is in the 90s. You don't even need a title underneath it like this takes place in the 90s. You just show one blockbuster and you're like, oh, that's where we are, apparently.
Not only that, she comes down like a meteor. It's like the meteor and the dinosaurs. Like that's it. That's it right there. That's what happened to the dinosaurs.
All the blockbusters.
Blockbuster.
They got hit by the meteor. That was Netflix, really. And and then they all went extinct. Other than one. There's one blockbuster in Alaska. I swear to God.
Yeah, I know about that one.
Yeah. We all as a group, all of us that are on those guys have to go to Alaska just together, just to search for the last blockbuster.
Good luck, bud.
Yeah, right. You've immediately, you haven't even, you excuse yourself. You're like, good luck to all of you. Melissa, you've also been on the show. Good luck to all of you.
No, not for the
You-
show. Like,
No, no, no. What I'm saying is this was an invitation given to everybody who's been
oh,
on
to
those guys
everybody.
play.
Oh,
Yes, that's what I'm saying. Anyone
yeah.
who's been on can come to Alaska, and you
Hey,
immediately
about
were just,
Alaska, that's gonna be a no for me, dog.
your band can't play in Alaska?
Maybe. I don't know.
Maybe.
I'm
Yeah,
supposed to be a diva, right? I'm a singer, so like maybe we'll see.
Oh my god.
It has to be on exactly like the 23rd of like the second month, and like
on tour. Your first stop on tour, global, will be Alaska at that Blockbuster. There's a mall right next to it.
at the ready at the Blockbuster.
Yeah, they're already at the block. So anyway,
Name
so
drop.
clearly, right? So links to all your stuff will be in the description box down below. Either way, yep. So Nick Fury's in this. Coulson's in this.
Coulson.
Yes.
I've been meaning to put together a cosplay of Coulson because I have a Captain America. What's it called? It's a robe, and I'm like, oh man, I could be Agent Coulson on his day off and just sit around like a suit underneath the robe.
The strap for your guitar, isn't it just Captain America shields?
It's also Cap. Yeah, it's just shields over and over.
It's just shields.
I'm owning the Captain America thing, even though he's like not fully my favorite. He's tied.
Yeah, and also he's probably gonna die soon, horribly. Anyway, Hawkeye will be fine.
Yeah.
Hopefully. We'll talk about that story later. But when it comes to Captain Marvel, though, from the looks of it, it's set in the 90s, of course. And we do wonder, though, so my question to you is, how do you think she's going to be in, like, a deep sleep? Or is she going to go, is she going to be like, my planet needs me, and then she's going to go back off into space? Because she's been gone for 20 years, and Fury there was never even a whiff that she existed.
Fury made a call.
No, in the end of Infinity War. But there's a huge gap between Iron Man and Infinity War, even though it's not actually like how it is in our time, it's not actually 10 years, but it's at least a good 4 to 5.
Yeah, but like, she could have been anywhere, she could have been undercover, she could have been just chilling, she could have been home. Like, she could have been literally anywhere, but like, I think that Nick Fury call is definitely why she's back. And that's really all that matters.
I mean, it matters, but I mean, because in my head, I'm like, with all the shit that's gone on Earth thus far, you'd think one of the events was cataclysmic enough that if she was on Earth, she would have come down or she would have been called.
I mean, especially that Doctor Strange shit.
Yeah. No,
like,
Doctor... That's the funny thing, too, right? Doctor Strange felt like that was more collateral damage than other Marvel movies combined.
But like, Doctor Strange was able to undo it because wibbly wobbly, timey-wimey stuff.
Right, duh, of course. So, when it comes to... this trailer, though, in particular, I love her outfit. I don't know how I feel about her acting, and this is not against, like, it's funny because some people have said, yeah, but, Captain America, Chris Evans? He's also wooden, and to that I go, okay, yeah. I'm not saying that he isn't, it's just that there's something about her thus far, like, I want to see the whole movie of her, I just feel weird about some of the lines she said thus far in the trailer. I mean, it's weird. I enjoy the character. I want to see the character. I don't like. I would never be like, let's write her off. Like,
this is the first trailer, though, isn't it?
Yes, it is. So we're going to see more.
Yeah,
definitely.
We're getting a lot of rough footage.
Definitely, most definitely. What I find very interesting, though, putting aside the acting, I want to know if she's been on Earth before and if she was sent out to space. Mm-hmm. Because she's having these flashbacks and these memories that she doesn't know if they exist or not from being on Earth. And it also makes you wonder, how old is she? Because she looks like someone who's quite literally in her 20s.
Yeah.
So I do wonder if she was on Earth, if she was ever on Earth. I have no idea. Because it's a Marvel movie, even if I knew more about Captain Marvel, and if you knew more about Captain Marvel, they can turn all that on its head. Because,
different timelines, different comics.
Yeah, all of the shit. I wish, though, that we saw her with a mohawk like she has right now. Because in the comics right now, she has a mohawk, and I feel like, I'm like, nothing wrong with your hair, I would like mohawk Captain Marvel as, like, the first outing, but okay.
Yeah, but you want to know what kind of Hawkeye I want? Hawkeye!
You just want Hawkeye in general. I want Kamala. I think her name is Kamala Harris or Kamala Karras. She's Middle Eastern and she's the newest Captain Marvel. And if we see her in the movie, that'd be wonderful because she looked up to Captain Marvel. So if we're introducing this version of Captain Marvel, it would be nice if in the next 5 years we end up getting Kamala out of this.
Yeah, and like also
newest.
like a Kate Bishop would be cool, but at the same time, I still want like Jeremy Renner's a good fucking Hawkeye.
Do you think what's funny? Do you think he might be in Captain Marvel? Perhaps, in any way, because it's 20 years ago, they can do anything they want to with some of these characters who either haven't appeared or who might even be dead. I don't think we'd see Loki, but who might be dead.
I mean, honestly, they messed up all of his story. Like they could have given him so much that I just don't think they're going to. Like if they did, it'd be neat. Like if.
Well, because this is before some of the stuff they messed up even happened, though, because it's taking place in the 90s.
He still would have been like an adult at this point.
Yeah.
Oh, well, he would have been like teens.
He would have been in his... No, if he's in his 40s right now, he would be in his 20s.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Which already blows past most of the carny kid breaking out.
I'm just saying that they can do interesting things because I don't know if they're only going to stop at Nick Fury, who, by the way, how has Samuel L. Jackson gotten younger? I heard they used CG to make him look younger.
Did they?
I heard that they did because apparently I didn't know this. Have you seen Logan?
Yeah.
Apparently they did that in Logan to make Hugh Jackman look a little bit older.
Well, let me tell you about Hugh Jackman though.
What about?
He doesn't need CGI for anything.
Hugh Jackman. Okay, so I'm not going to spoil Logan for anyone, but I just saw Logan yesterday.
Yeah, go ahead.
I cried for half the runtime.
Wow.
I'm pretty sure I cried for half the runtime. Seeing Professor X the way he was, seeing everything that happened to Logan, everything happened to Professor X, all that stuff, I was crying for half the runtime. I was like, oh, why is this happening to my heroes?
Which, I guess if you grew up with X-Men and enjoying X-Men is one thing, but as someone who did not enjoy X-Men growing up and watched all the movies before going to see Logan, didn't have the feels.
That's why.
I had the feels towards the kid though.
Of course. Her too, yes. Oh yeah, no. Same with her as well. So for me, X-Men was my first, one of my first superhero movies and one of my first superhero TV shows. So when I see Hugh Jackman in that role, I legit see Wolverine. So I'm like, oh god, Wolverine's getting fucked up right now, and stuff and also the fact that he's just. Throughout that entire movie, his character was limping. There wasn't a point when he wasn't limping.
Yeah,
other
it's
than one
seeing
part that's
a friend of yours grow old and
live happily ever after. Tears. Anyway,
if you haven't seen Logan at this point, it's been a year, 2 years.
Well, no, it's actually only been a year, funnily enough. But anyway, back to Captain Marvel. We're gonna get her talking to Logan. Totally, he's gonna tell her to fuck off, just like he did to Professor Charles Xavier. He did that to McAvoy's version. When they went around. Have you seen First Class?
Let me tell you about James McAvoy.
Have you seen First Class?
Doesn't need CGI. What?
He does not. Although I think he needed it for Split. I think he might have needed CGI for Split. Have you seen Split?
No, I haven't.
He needed CGI. He was yeah, it was pretty bad. Anyway, but when it comes to McAvoy though, have you seen First Class? Because I thought you said did you or no?
I binged them all. I don't remember the names of them. I just remember that they're in one of the movies.
Mm-hmm. They went to Wolverine.
Best scene that I've ever seen in my entire life, and it is that goddamn slow-mo scene, and it is the best thing that has ever happened to Marvel.
Yeah, with Quicksilver.
Yes.
I love it. Sweet dreams are made of thee. That was actually my favorite scene in all of X-Men too. That's true.
It might be my favorite scene in all of anything except for some Hot Fuzz scenes.
Yes. No, but they both Magneto and Professor X went to go recruit Wolverine, and he just looked at them, and it was a PG-13 movie. So the only F-bomb throughout the entire movie, and he said, "Fuck off."
Yeah.
And then they walked out.
It's that was your one.
Yeah, that was the one. So they can do that with Captain Marvel. They could be like, oh, let's call someone else, and just Wolverine in the 90s saying to fuck off. Hugh Jackman's retired, though, from the looks of it. But
from the looks of it, but he loves Wolverine. Let's be
honest. He does.
He'd do it.
But, yeah.
In a heartbeat, he'd do it.
See, I do wonder though, because here's the other thing too. Normally, speaking of Captain Marvel again, though, normally they don't care about how characters, if they look a little bit too old, a little bit too young. They don't usually care about that because they know, hey, these are actors, these are real people. Time goes on, right? But it has been. I don't know if there has been 20 years between when she, speaking of Captain Marvel here, first appears in this movie versus her appearance in Part 2 of Infinity War. Do you think there's going to be some weird like cryostasis and sleep, or that she's out in space? Because she wouldn't have aged for 20 years.
Let's be real. It is a Hollywood film. They are not going to age her even if they wanted to. Because they don't want to, because they know exactly what Hollywood wants, and they know that they just want this polished bullshit, and like it's one of those like they're not going to make her look.
No, that's very true, and that happens to women in Hollywood a lot.
Like once you start aging, that's it. Your career is.
Oh yeah, no, there are some women in Hollywood.
Except for Meryl Streep, she is the exception. Yeah, Meryl and Betty White.
Meryl Streep could be the next Wolverine, and Betty White could be the next Deadpool, and I'd be like, sold.
I watched them both.
Completely fucking.
What the fuck? I'd watch that right now. Make that an SNL skit at least. At the very least, it has to be an SNL skit. I'd watch them.
Okay. I mean, yeah, it would work. It would work. But still, so when it comes to yes, I was saying, I was trying to get those. Some actresses have said at 29, it feels as if their careers as these, as beautiful, this beautiful woman and this heartthrob and all that stuff are over. When men consistently get this, their hair grows grayer, and people are like Silver Fox, and it's like, really?
The Silver Fox thing is one thing, but like there's no lady term that means the same thing.
Exactly.
Except for in the terms of Meryl Streep, she's a boss ass bitch.
Well, yeah, no, she's eternal. So we will die before Meryl Streep, and we will live long lives. And so I was wondering. I was like, I don't know if
Meryl Streep a Skrull?
Is she? Oh, by the way, speaking of Skrulls again. So depending on the canon, Skrulls either have a kind of like a weird mind meld thing with you, where they're connected to you. So if you die, the Skrull dies as well. So in other words, you might be whisked away, not necessarily murdered, to be replaced by a Skrull. So you might be. So at one point in the comics, some of the characters were revealed to be Skrulls all along, which I'm sure, as you know, Melissa, went over very well.
Oh,
I'm sure. And then those characters reappeared again off of an alien spaceship, and they had some of their outfits from the 70s and 80s.
Wow, that's actually hysterical when you put it in context like that.
Yes,
but I still would have been pissed.
I would have been
if
too.
I was reading those comics.
Yeah, no, and at the time, because I read them retroactively, but if I had read them when they were first coming out...
If you would have waited every so often to have the next...
I would have been Nick Furious, is what I would have been.
You would have been Nick Furious.
That is such a good joke. Underrated. Anyway, okay. Either way, though, they brought the characters back, and they apparently had known what's going on, because again, they had like a mind-mental connection thing. But here's the question, though: who can end up being a Skrull? Because we could have Black Widow.
A Skrull the entire time.
That'd be hilarious. He would just look exactly the same, other than green, and he'd have like bigger ears.
Done. Nailed it. Mic drop.
Nailed it.
My mic's on a boom. I can't do that.
But anyway, so we could have Hawkeye. We could have. So you could get a better Hawkeye.
We could have a better Hawkeye.
I'm saying that like an actual
words
with better character development, because that hasn't been Hawkeye.
All right.
That's what I'm saying.
Jeremy Renner is a perfect Hawkeye.
All right. So we have Hawkeye. Anyway. It could be Black Widow, because there's a lot of weird stuff going on there. Heck, the way Hulk reappeared out of fucking nowhere, the fact that he appeared on a random alien planet out of nowhere and then got whisked back to Earth on the one-way trip there with Thor.
Especially with no memories. Or at least memories as the Hulk, and
yeah.
Mark Ruffalo was like, Bruce was like, I don't know how I got here.
Yes, exactly. Now, granted, it makes sense if you look at it from in the comic books, the Hulk starts to gain an actual personality. As you can tell from the movie, he didn't even want to fight as the Hulk.
Yeah, he was like, Hulk, no.
Yeah, Hulk, no, do this, Hulk, no, do that. So he does have a personality. I mean, at one point in the comics, we find out that Hulk is the nice one.
Yeah.
Where Banner gets angry because his dad abused him when he was a kid because his dad was an alcoholic. So Banner's the angry one. Hulk is actually not this rage monster. He's fueled by Banner.
Yeah.
That was an interesting comic because they split. Literally, they split into two different people, and Banner was doing crazy shit to try to get Hulk to fuse together with him, like dropping like gamma radiation nuclear bombs to try to get them to fuse again because he felt like he was less complete without the Hulk.
Sad.
It was crazy shit. It was a really
so
good run.
fucking sad.
It was some crazy shit.
I've never been so sad as right now. And I watched all of Infinity War and didn't get Hawkeye, and I've never been as sad as I am right now.
So, I am under the impression. Yes, God. I am under the impression that we're going to get some heroes as Skrulls. Do you have any theories? Will it be Fury? I don't know.
Fury did have that thing where he died for a little bit, but that was because he was being like spied on.
Yeah, that's the ever.
Why would they spy on him?
Well, no. What I'm saying is, a few different characters have had points where they've kind of dropped off the map.
Yeah, that's what I'm trying to go by. Like, Clark Gregg.
Well, they confirmed. They confirmed Coulson was. They did some weird magic-y thing. I thought it would have been an LED decoy, like one of those like life LMDs, the life model decoys.
Yeah.
I thought he was going to be one of those, but apparently in Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. they confirmed it was some weird magic that they brought him back with. I didn't see Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D., but I already know it's bullshit the way they explained it.
It was a good show. I watched like the first season and I loved it. Like Team Science Squad, and then I don't know what happened after that. So
Ghost Rider's in it now, so that's cool. Yeah, I want them. Money? That's another thing. That's one thing that they That's one thing that they didn't do in Infinity War that they might in this movie, perhaps not in this movie, then in Part 2. I would love if they end up bringing in the TV characters in some way or another into the film, like Daredevil, Punisher. Especially, I don't know. I wonder how many callbacks we're gonna have because not just '90s callbacks. Oh God, the amount of '90s callbacks that are gonna be in this fucking movie in Captain Marvel.
God, I'm like, I'm excited and I'm not excited now that it's because it's gonna be a nostalgia. Just being
and we're not even that old. That's the thing.
No, it's not. But like now, the '90s nostalgia is what's selling, and like all those '90s reboots. Like they are rebooting Buffy. They are rebooting Charmed. Like, those are early 2000s, but that's what the...
Yes.
Who grew up in the 90s, like...
Yeah. No, but I mean, even stuff like Fuller House, all these...
Yeah, they still grew up on...
Yeah. I grew up on that in the 90s. Thinking of, if you want to jump to video games, all the classic editions that have been coming out over the past few years, all of the remakes and the HD remasters and re-releases and stuff like that. And there's only been re-releases, but still.
They're even doing it with like 2011. Like, how many Skyrims are we gonna have?
Well, Skyrim.
I love Skyrim.
Skyrim will be playable after the world ends.
Yes.
The world will end, and Skyrim will still be...
The Earth will implode, and there will be one meteor rock that comes out of the Earth, and it's just going to have, like, the script for Skyrim on it. And, like, some alien's going to see that, and they're going to be like, what the fuck? And then they're going to put it into, like, their own, like, magical stuff. Aliens don't do magic. And, like...
Hey, they can. But they will see the script for Skyrim, the code, along with our worldly ambassador... Meryl Streep. We've tied it all together.
Amen.
Amen.
Tell me.
I want to know what you guys... Meryl Streep will be in space eternally. So, she will be Captain Marvel, basically. She can be Captain Marvel and Wolverine. Fuck it. So, tell me what... She's a Skrull. Tell me what you guys think in the comment section down below. I want to hear what your thoughts are, and we've rambled far too long.
Oh, yeah.